Imagine discovering that two African kingdoms, the Ashanti people of Ghana and the Benin people of Nigeria, from separate locations in West Africa might have similar stories about their stolen treasures that ended up in the British Museum, amongst other 8 million objects. And how the British Museum got all these objects will surprise you. The British Museum is the world's largest world history museum, with millions of visitors yearly. This museum houses over 8 million of pieces of great works of people, treasures and artifacts from different parts of the world, like this Ashanti ceremonial car from the Ashanti people of present-day Ghana, the Benin bronzes from the Benin people of Edo State, present-day Nigeria, and two large stone moai from Rapa Nui, Easter Highland. These items hold different significance and history, from how it was made to being acquired or stolen and getting into the British Museum. Let's expose some of the reasons behind how these items were stolen. But before we go into details, we need to understand that not all of the 8 million items that are present in the British Museum were stolen. But there is a problem with how some of these artifacts were acquired. According to the British Museum's official website, some of the objects were acquired through various ways, like collection, by donation and bequest, through ceremonial, government and missionary activity, through purchase, commission and treasures. Through purchase is a very good example of how the Ife head was acquired. The Ife head was found in 1938 at a compound in Ife during house building works among 16 other brass and copper heads. Few pieces were taken from Nigeria and are now a collection of major museums, but this particular head was purchased in Ife by Mr. H.N. Bates, editor of the Nigerian Daily Times newspaper. It was later sold to Kenneth Clark, the director of National Art Gallery, who then passed it to the British Museum. But where the problem comes in is another way that some of the artifacts were acquired, which is acquisition of some of the artifacts through conflict.
This half in Egypt and this half in the British Museum, and this you make it in Egypt, actually don't make it in England. Sorry about this.
Think I found his statue.
This is another good example of how the Benin artifacts and the Ashanti ceremonial cap were acquired, stolen, and then sold before they found their way to the British Museum. Before talking about the theft, shocking and brutal incidents that happened to the Benin people of Nigeria and the Ashanti people of Ghana during the whole process, let's first uncover the main reason why the British decided to build a museum. In 1753, the British Museum was founded with the primary aim of housing the vast collection of Sir Sloane, an Irish physician and collector. Sloane's collection comprised of 71,000 objects, including books, manuscripts, coins, medals, and natural history specimens. The British government acquired Sloane's collection for £20,000 and sought to establish a national museum to preserve and showcase these treasures. The museum's initial purpose was to promote learning, education, and advancement of knowledge, but the British government had other plans. During the 18th and 19th century, the British Empire expanded globally, and the museum became a symbol of British power and cultural superiority. The museum's collection swelled with artifacts acquired through colonial expansion, including treasures looted from ancient civilization. Now, let's talk about how Nigeria and Ghana became a victim. Let's begin with Ghana. The British colonization of Ghana began in 1844, when the British government established the Gold Coast colony. Over the next several decades, British forces expanded their control over the region, conquering various Ghanaian kingdoms and seizing valuable artifacts. One notable incident occurred in 1874 when British forces invaded the Ashanti kingdom and looted the palace of the Ashanti king, Kofi Karikari. The British stole valuable gold regalia, including the famous Ashanti gold stool, which was considered sacred by the Ashanti people. The Ashanti gold stool was crafted in the 17th century and symbolized the power and authority of the Ashanti kingdom. Its theft was a devastating blow to the Ashanti people and marked the beginning of British exploitation of Ghana's cultural heritage. Throughout the late 19th and early 20th century, British colonial administrators, archaeologists, and explorers continued to loot and plunder Ghana's cultural artifacts. Many of these artifacts were taken to Britain and displayed in museums, where they remain to this day. In 1896, British troops destroyed the Dagbon's kingdom capital, Yendi, and looted valuable artifacts, including royal sword and gold jewelry. These artifacts were also taken to Britain and are now housed in various museums. Ghana gained independence from Britain in 1957, but the legacy of colonialism and cultural exploitation continues to impact the country. In recent years, Ghana has made efforts to reclaim its looted cultural heritage, but Britain has been reluctant to return many of the stolen artifacts.
But virtually the soul of the people of Ashanti. We are displaying this for you to see that the items that were stolen, looted in 1874, not all of them has returned, but that what we have here still embodies the soul of Ashanti. And I believe within the period that they are being displayed here, you make an effort, everybody, to come in and visit, to see it yourselves, to believe that yes, we have this, yes, these were created by our own artisans. Yes, we ask ourselves, are we able to do that in this modern day?
The issue remains a contentious one, with many Ghanaians arguing that the return of these artifacts is essential to restoring their cultural identity and heritage. This is also the same response from the Benin people, but their story is quite different. The British Army invasion of the Benin city in 1897 was a pivotal event in Nigerian history, marked by violence, cultural destruction, and colonial exploitation. In the late 19th century, the British Empire sought to expand its control over West Africa, particularly the Niger Delta region, which was rich in natural resources. The Benin Empire, with its capital in present-day Edo State, Nigeria, was a powerful and independent kingdom that resisted the British colonization. Tension escalated between the British and Benin following disagreements over trade agreements, territorial disputes, and the Benin Empire's refusal to accept British sovereignty. The British viewed Benin resistance as a challenge to their authority and an opportunity to assert their dominance. In January 1897, a British expedition led by Admiral Harry Rawson was dispatched to Benin City. The expedition was ostensibly aimed at punishing the Benin people for alleged atrocities, but its true purpose was to depose the king, Oba Ovoranwe Nogbaisi, and annex the kingdom. On February 18, 1897, British forces launched a surprise attack on Benin City, employing superior firepower and tactics. The Benin army, despite valiant resistance, was overwhelmed. The city was brutally sacked with widespread destruction of homes, temples, and cultural artifacts. The British looted thousands of priceless artifacts, including the famous Benin bronzes, which were crafted by skilled Benin artisans. These artifacts were taken to Britain and sold to different countries and collectors, with many of them ending up in the British Museum. The United Kingdom returned 32 gold and silver treasures stolen from Ashanti Kingdom of Ghana more than 150 years ago. These 32 gold and silver treasures were received on a 6-year loan, which means they will be returned in a 6-year period. And as for Nigeria, There has been growing international pressure on museums and institutions to return cultural artifacts looted during colonial times. The Benin bronze in particular have been at the center of repatriation efforts.